Hi, this is Zach here with the weekend edition of the US Chartbreakers here at Zach's Traders Cafe. It is Sunday, the 10th of August. Starting off with the S&P, which is, done actually had a great start to August after the gap down that we had, and basically flushing out a few of the weaker longs. We found support towards 6,200, which is what we were expecting, but slightly higher. And we then had the gap close buy signal on the 4th of August, which actually was the actually a buy signal that works, especially when it's in combination with the RSI 50 rebound. We've had 1/2 RSI 50 rebounds or RSI 50 plus rebounds since then, and that suggests that we are now with enough momentum to retest the best levels ever. That peak there, 64.27, and in fact go on to the top of the rising trend channel from April, as high as 6,600, perhaps by the end of next month. If we're really lucky, obviously, we might get there by the end of this month. The other point to note is that perhaps the rising trend channel is a bit narrower than I've drawn, which would obviously be a good thing as well, and it would give us notional support here around the 62.70 level. Above that, looking for 6,600. Onto the Nasdaq, and here the market has been that bit that bit stronger rather than the S&P. And here you can see that basically the high of last month, at the end of last month, 23,176, and the close on Friday, 23,611. So looking for the top of the channel there, 24,000 incoming days. And after that, probably looking for a fresh target. But at least while we're above the initial August support and the floor of that channel there, around 22,800, 24,000, looks like a done deal once again. In this case, actually two RSI 50 rebounds or rebounds above RSI 50, acting as the leading indicator on the upside. Onto the stocks, and starting off with a situation which is called Alector. Here we've got this rising trend channel base, top of the channel there towards the $2.80 zone, and we're looking for that hopefully well before the end of this month, especially given the way that we've managed to push through the 200-day line there, around $1.97, as if it wasn't actually there, which is normally a good sign. So $2.80, especially while we're above $1.97, the 200-day moving average. Next on the list is Apollo Medical, and here the shares within a broadening triangle. There's also the added sizzle of a gap down that we had back in February, and the gap higher that we've had just now. That suggests that we've got a bear trap iron reversal, one of the stronger setups, because obviously the bear's wrong-footed, as indicated by the gap higher. Top of the channel there, $36. Looking at that for that by the end of this month, while we're above recent resistance around $27 on an end-of-day close basis. Maybe you could adjust that down to 26, the July resistance, but ideally we're strong enough with that close on Friday to stay on the right side of $27 on an end-of-day close basis. Next on the list is GigaCloud, which really sounds like a company that could be a fantastic one, just on the name alone. Here we've had a gap through resistance, and really quite a solid gap there. Top of the channel there, heading for $36. We're looking for that by the end of this month, while we're above the recent resistance, the old November resistance, around $26.50 on an end-of-day close basis. On to a stock which hopefully will be a winner as well in the near future rather. Here we've got Hyperion, and here we spotted the rising trend channel there from back in May. The top of the channel currently heading towards the 18, well, it's probably the $20 level if I can actually draw it. And if we can stay above that support line there at around $5.30, that is the destination we're looking for. You can see the upper parallel of that rising trend channel heading towards the $18 mark. If you're cautious, maybe you wait for an end-of-day close for the RSI back above neutral 50. It's 46 at the moment. And wait for an end-of-day close above the area of the 50 and 200-day moving averages around the $8 mark. But at least while we're above the 530 area, looking like we are on the front foot. Big chart coming up next from Jyong, and here approaching our initial target there around $50. That's the top of that rising trend channel there from back in June. Hoping for that, obviously, in coming days. The upper parallel of that is heading up rather higher, perhaps as high even as the low 60s, so $62, $63. And we'll be looking for that by the end of this month if we can stay above the mid-range of Friday's price action, so approximately the $39 zone. A regular on the US chart breakers has been MF International, and here you can see why. Beautiful V-shaped bull flag breakout there through neckline resistance at $30, and above that looking for a steep ascent as high as maybe $64 by the end of next month. Really looks absolutely impressive with the massive unfilled gap to the upside and then the push through neckline resistance. I suppose the only negative here is that we're way above the 50 and 200-day lines, and also a positive at the moment is the way that we've had a obvious double dip above a double dip for the RSI above the neutral 50 level. So it's a double leading indicator there for the shares, at least while we're above that $30 zone. Excitement also at the next stock, which is one of the best of the recent past as well. Here with Newegg, we managed to break through the top of that rising trend channel around $72. Above that, we're looking for the upper parallel of that rising trend channel, which could be towards the $107 area, maybe a bit higher than that by the end of next month, giving it a bit of extra time. But the way things are going, obviously, above 72 could be by the end of this month. You can see that the RSI has been below neutral 50 since the early part of June, so multiple rebounds for the RSI above neutral 50, so multiple leading indicators on, or leading indication on, the upside. Moving along to a slightly less exciting situation, which is Nephros, but still we've got a neckline break there, $380 rather, and above that looking for the top of that rising trend channel from back in December as high as $6 by the end of next month. So Friday offering a gap close buy signal, so closing that gap there around $3.40, and it closing above the 50-day line around $3.64. So we're all looking quite decent, especially with the push for the RSI above neutral 50 as well. On to the last three, and the first one is coming up in the form of, if I can type it out correctly, in the form of SG blocks. Here you can see that we've got this bear trap situation going on. Interestingly, it's a bear trap island reversal, so gapping down, then gapping up. So we're hoping that while we're above the floor, rather the top of the latest gap, the $27 area, looking for at least a return to recent resistance around $60 plus by the end of this month. It's a punchy call, but it's a punchy chart as well. If you're cautious, you wait for the RSI to get back above neutral 50 versus 42 at the moment. On to VivoPower, and here rising trend channel. It's slightly messy, but obviously that's the way these markets like to be. It's a bit of a bear trap below the $4 level at the turn of the month, but shares seem to have got themselves in order. Unfilled gap to the upside on Friday, and also closing above the 50-day line there around $5. Above $5, looking for up to $8.50 or even $9 by the end of next month. Finishing off with a situation which is hopefully one that people are interested in at the moment, and that is Zillow. Here we've got a potential breakout here, rising trend channel. That's been in place since April. The question here is where the top of the channel is, and at the moment the favored place for that is up towards the $115 level, and we've already had a gap. Well, we had a gap close buy signal, looking for the shares to remain above recent support at $77 ahead of an ongoing move to the upside. If you are cautious, you wait for an end of day close back above the gap there at around $86, in fact $85.50 to be more precise. That's it for me today. More updates over the course of the new week.